So here I am in the middle of June 2024 blogging in a scarf. We should be out in sun tops really, but unfortunately global boiling brings on this unusual weather. I really enjoyed that interview with Neil Oliver. It's just like talking to your mate next door. We got friendly because of our viewpoint, and I started using Twitter a couple of years ago. I don't use YouTube a lot because there's this copycat going around that nicks my stuff. Even this stuff, he'll nick it, but he'll just edit out the bit about the copycat. But you'll notice that it's always on my channel first, so he can't beat me on timing because it's my stuff. And I talked a bit about that to Neil. The thing is, a character like Neil is too big a name to start ripping off because, you know, it's just too big. I'm in that no man's land where I'm not an anybody. I'm just an older woman who's got fairly popular. But I'm not popular because it's me, because of what I do. I'm popular because I'm able to put things across that you're thinking, and I can only know that by reading the threads. I read the threads and I comment to people. Again, you can tell the copycat because if you go on his page, there's no comments from him apart from subscribe to my channel. He doesn't interact, he doesn't look at what you've said, he's not interested in where you've come from, he's not interested in your thought process. So that's another way of showing you. And he has a lot of videos where it's got the two brown bits at the side because he rips them off from Instagram, where I'm not on Instagram, I just did them for Facebook. But the great thing about people like Neil Oliver and Leilani Dowding and Professor Fenton and Asim Malhotra and Andrew Bridgen, who's the one and only voice in Parliament, the thing about interacting with them on WhatsApp, you just build your knowledge banks up so you know you're not going bonkers yourself, because you start seeing doubt in everything, and that's natural. Once trust is betrayed, very hard to get back, and Westminster are now up against it. So we're not going to sort everything out in this country through the political arena at all. We can't just let it continue. We can't just stand here and not vote and just let them railroad us into everything they think of. All the batshit crazy ideas about net zero, where we cripple ourselves to get to net zero while China's allowed to spew out emissions, increase the use of fossil fuels, build railroads, particularly just for fossil fuels, 2,000 kilometres long, this thing. It's a railroad just for transporting coal. How much carbon footprint was that to build it? And they can do all this through the Paris Accord. It's written into the agreement. They don't have to do it, they just have to pretend to try. And there's only one reason they get that. And this is a critical thing that people miss. There's only one reason why China's allowed to do what it does, and India. Because they get foreign aid from countries like us, crippling ourselves. So that doesn't sit well with me. I don't see why I should live a lesser life so China can just do what it wants. Besides, carbon footprints don't mean anything. Neither does us being at sort of 1%, while China's at something like 30%. Because all our carbon really is being manufactured, our footprints, on a big container ship in the South China Sea with all the goods we need that we buy from abroad now, because lunatics in Parliament over the years have degraded our manufacturing, and that takes jobs. But yes, there's a massive sweep. The biggest thing that's going on is a sweep across Europe where politics is changing and swinging to the right. Obviously the media like to call it the far right. It's not the far right, it's the got it right. And the people don't want it. And when you reject in huge numbers, the farmers' protests have been, well, probably the main cause for this kickback in Europe. No farms, no food. It's as simple as that. You start making farmers grow wildflowers instead of wheat or corn, how are we going to eat? We've got everything we need in this country. We're 75% farmland. We could be pretty self-sufficient. But legislation doesn't allow it. It's utter madness what's going on. But the thing is, I see it all the time because I do read your comments and your messages. That's why I'm not the copycat. And all the time, more people that didn't take any notice are waking up. People are following me that have only just come across me. And even on my friends list, people that stop taking any notice because they think I'm bonkers, they're saying it now. So they've done it too soon. what they've tried on with the rollout and the lockdowns, they've done it too soon. It's made everybody question everything while we've still got access to the internet to inform each other, talk to each other and move forward. We are a huge number of people that don't need this interference in our lives. And trust me when I say we're not all buying electric cars. Manufacturers are worried about the future with electric cars. We've not been sucked in. We're not all jabbed. We're not all boosted. We saw through the overspend by the government. We know they're not Tories anymore. We know it's all one party. I mean, even things like the Mark Stein case where he's got to be answerable for things he said because of Ofcom. It's all being rubbished. Mark Stein did nothing wrong. Mark Stein should never have been sacked. And this pushback is I can't get it across how big it is. And no doubt my copycat will try and rip this video off. It's my video on June Slater 63. You put an @ in front of it for YouTube. And I'm June Slater, UK Politics Uncovered. You're not it. Even though you put my name on all your titles. That's how he gets the first page to himself on a Google search. It's a sickener. But what do? Do I stop doing it? Or do I just continue? I'm just continue and do my own thing. And then he'll have to just suck it up because he'll always be behind me. And my following's going up, so I'm catching up all the time and he can't be asked to respond to you. He hasn't got the time, he's working. And he's not interested. How do you find out what's going on in the world if you don't look at people's reactions to what you've put out? I don't understand that bit. I'll never understand that, why people just churn stuff out but don't look at what the audience is saying to them. How can I say to you, oh, there's been a big shift if I don't look at what you're saying? It's obvious. I need you like you need me. I can put it out there where you might get tongue-tied and you can feel a sense of relief because you think, yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. And that's why I do it. Then I look back at what you've put on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. I don't put it anywhere else. And between us, we're having an effect. There's thousands of us doing this.